I wanted to recording today because something come up, and it was about that someone in Holon in Israel had listened at an episode, and you know that you that have listened to my episodes, you know that I was in Holon in 2016, and I visit the Israelite Samarian tribe there and one of their leaders, and so I'll be surprised and also happy to see that in my statistic was it someone from Holland that had listened. But then when I look at where this person had listened, and it was this with about Mary Stewart and her head, and about the connection between heaven and earth. And it was not a long episode. It was this I had cut out from the long episode, so it was only about 13 minutes. So that's how they judge and make decision upon me, that they don't really go into and know who I am and know if it's true or not what I'm talking about, and all those spirits that coming here. You can't make a decision upon 13 minutes that you have listened. It's very sad that they judge on 13 minutes. Maybe he or she close before the time ran out also, so it was shorter. And you can't judge, you can't make a decision upon have listened 10 minutes, 5 minutes on a person, and that is your past knowledge and what you have learned from other people, and learn from reading books, and you make the decision upon that. So in that way you make decision that you keep the old things and not want to hear what God is saying today to you. And that's it's very sad, but I can't force anyone to listen to all the episodes and come to know me and come to know God, because to know me is to know God, but I am not God. That's what Jesus was saying. He was not God, but together he had a connection with God, and he heard God talking to him like I do. And I am not God, and Jesus was not God. We are messengers. We from God. We are not any God. You can't make God to be someone walking here on earth. It's like proud that God is only for this planet, when there is so milliards of solar system in the universe. and he should only be interested on this planet, in this planet. That's very proud to think like that. And I wanted to talk about before, but I didn't felt it must be a little that I have heaven with me when I'm talking. And it's the same thing here, that is so sad that people make idols of those. They listen at them, and then after they have passed away, they make them idols or God, like they did with Jesus after he disappeared, when he was not here anymore. Then they make 325. They make Jesus to be God, and if these people have been messenger from God, they should not like that people make them to be idols, and like focus on their idol, focus on this man that have lived here on earth, and not focus on God. A real messenger from God, he should not like that. And it's what it is just now. On Facebook I have many new friends from that is Jewish, Orthodox Jewish, and they have this man. His name is Menachem Mendel Schneerson, or he is known by the name the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he died in 1994, and they keep him as an idol, and they go to his grave and have manifestation and these things upon him, and like not moving forward. It's of course you should have a memory of a person that was very important for you in your religion, but you have to move forward, and it's only about him the whole time. And first, when I start to add Jewish people, and then Orthodox Jewish, then I saw this picture. First I thought it was a profile of that person I add, and then I find that's the same man in many pictures of the profile on Facebook, and then I check him up. Who is it? That all they are so many picture of him, and they place it on their profile picture also. So I find out who he was, and he is the last one of. No, I have not studied him so very much, but he is the last sort of this kind of rabbi line, and then I look up about is there any woman that have been a rabbi, a female rabbi, ever. It's only man. It's men the whole time, but there have been one and her name is Paula Reimers, and she was become Rabbi 2008, but already to 2017 they kick her out from the list of rabbi to be known as rabbi, and it is very hard, because if you go into this kind of, there is other religions, and there is other belief system that you can't come with something new. You can't. You have to follow from generation to generation to generation the same talking, same belief in everything. You only repeat what was said for 10 generation ago, for 300, 500 years ago. You repeat it only, and nothing new happened. And then they say this about New Age things, that everything, either is it a sect, or either is it a New Age movement, if they don't like what they hear. So it's so very much judgment. That's why I am not in a religious system anymore. They have someone asked me yesterday, I think, about this, what I have learned from religions, and I say that what I learned from religion is that it's so very much judge. It's so many that judge you, and you have to fit into this form they want you to be in. That it's only the leaders that can say something. They be angry if you say something that you have heard from God. For example, for me, they say that is something I should hold into myself. It's between you and God. They say to me, to stop me from saying new things that I can hear. And I am rebellious. I have heard that I am rebellious for many, many times from those male leaders in religions. And everything, I'm rebellious because I don't follow them. I have my own relationship with God, and I have my own experience of life and what God have done in my life. So today I sign up for a new passport could travel to Israel, and I'm on 2 days, July 1st, 2022, am I going to make a picture in the police station. They make a photo of me, and I have to my signature to do the passport. And I have had always a passport. Every year I have had an active passport, but as I am a prophet, I knew it. Sometimes God doesn't talk to me I only know it. And my passport and my ID card was expired in November 2019. But I didn't do a passport again. I make an ID card only because I knew I should not travel for a time. So I knew that it was something should come that make me not need to make a passport. I could do the passport when it was time to travel. So now I did, even if the pandemic is not over yet. But when something coming up, it should not be like between people. It should not be very fast, but it should not be waiting for a long time, because then they can change their mind. The devil can whisper in their ear, and then everything is crashed. So it's like have this feeling when it is a long waiting, or if it's a normal waiting to response on someone. And I feel like this man has said that to me for 1 week ago, and I have make the decision, but that's up to God. I can't do it, but I feel like it's time to travel in November, so that is 5 months until I should do it. So in that time I can know if I should fly to Israel and meet this man, or I should wait for someone else to invite me to Israel, and that the pandemic is over. And it have increased now. The pandemic is have coming back, and it have increased here in Sweden. And that is, if you have listened at those old episodes when the spirits told us for 2 years ago that it should come waves. They say that it should not be like COVID-19 and then it stop on it. They say it's gonna be waves of it, and so far have it not been. They say it should be waves and waves and waves about this COVID-19, but they also have said it should be like a tsunami, and I don't know when the tsunami will come, because I don't feel like tsunami have been yet. It have been waves on waves, and it's new versions of COVID and if I say, I guess it was B50, 52 or something, like airplane, but like that. And Omicron was also a wave, and it will come more, and it is this much change of the world with I don't talk about the climate, because that is not interesting, but it is that in some places is it very, very hot and people be killed, and in some places is very much water, and you know the war is going on and it's much going on, but we that uh, we that have faith in God, we should hold our peace, and knowing that the storm is doesn't last forever, so we have to hold it out. And I didn't know that it was on its way to increase COVID. So yesterday I was going to the store, and I saw some strawberries, and I wanted to eat strawberries, and it was the last bag of strawberries because it was very cheap to buy, and so I took one, and then I come to the cashier, and I didn't have any mask on, but there was not so many people in the store, so I was not close to any people. But when I should pay for the strawberries, and I was in my scooter, and the cashier said that she could help me to put down what I have bought in a bag. So she did that, and when she took the strawberries, she had this expression, this face that people have when God is talking to them. And God was talking to her, but she didn't say what he was talking about. But I saw her expression, and I knew that God told her in his way to talk that these strawberries will kill you. So I took the strawberries, but I never eat them. I take water on them, very much clean them up with water, but then I make ice cream of it. But now I'm thinking I'm going to boil it and see if it still tastes strawberries. But I need to kill the what is on the strawberries. So it could have been someone that was sick in COVID that had been there and coughing over the strawberries. So I don't know what I'm going with the strawberries, but I think in the end I'm going to throw them away, even if they are made as ice cream. I don't sell myself in that way. I'm not so poor anymore, so I need to eat those strawberries because I am poor. I don't need that, so I can put it, flash it down in a toilet. So I will do it because it's not worth it to be killed of it, and I saw it very clearly that God was telling her something, and it was when she held the strawberries in her hand. So today, the next day, it was on Facebook. It was from our health care, and it says that the COVID-19, the other version of COVID, it have increased, and we should be careful, going back, not exactly the same as it was from the beginning, but we should hold distance and be careful. And I noticed that in the store also, that it was the cleaning of the hands around the store, inside the store. And the woman that hold my strawberries, I say I don't want to press the button for to pay on the machine, because there's so many that have placed their fingers there, and that is enough that you have that on your finger, and then you maybe scratch your eyes and you get it in from your eyes. All this enter into your body. It's to be careful about. And she said that when I say about press the button, she said you can wash your hands there. She said and pointed out a bottle of this disinfection, cleaning up liquors. And so I did. So it was many warnings in that store that God did it to warning me about it, because it was not said anything about COVID, and they don't show any statistic here in Sweden. So I have tried to find it out how it looked like in the statistic for the COVID, but it's have been too hard to find it out. So I think media, they are not working for us. They should write about it and do the warning and be on our side, and not want it to kill us. But it's about money, and they have much to write about war and much war conflicts and economic things. That's where they got the money from. People is telling that they don't want to hear about COVID. They are tired of it. But it's not everyone. But their boss, the manager for the magazines from the TV news, they want to have the money, and they hear people saying, we don't want to hear anything about COVID. We are so tired, and many of our closest friend and family have died in it, and we don't want to hear. But it can't be like that, because it have to be open about it, so we know when it increases, and we have to be careful, and when we can relax on it. There's a duty that I think they should do this, but they are working for the money, and they're working for the political system, so they don't do it. But now I know it. I have to go back to wear a mask when I am close to people inside. Outside that where I can relax there, but some people are not aware of, and they think because they have the vaccine in them that they can come closer to me. That happens sometimes outside. Even if we are outside, they can't come into to our face and talk like they do it here. Old people do it very much on me because they have the vaccine. But it doesn't matter because they can carry they can carry the virus on them. And when they are speaking, they can have that in their mouth and not be sick of it because they have the vaccine, but I have not the vaccine. So I can be sick of it, what they are doing to me. So it's on me to be careful what I'm doing, and I am one of a person. I'm an outgoing person, and I don't want it, but I have to do it to not be killed. God warning me yesterday about it, and about this with Israel. I'm going to do all the preparation to fly to Israel in November. It is 3 months waiting for the passport here in Sweden, and an old friend, she wrote me on Facebook and say that, do you know that it's 3 months waiting for the passport, she say. I say I have plans to fly to Israel in November, and now is it, I think it's June 29, so I have lots of time because I am a prophet, so I have that feeling that I'm going to make a move in November, and it doesn't matter if the pandemic is not done, it's not over, because I know God. If God wants me to come to Israel, I will come to Israel. Either that is going to be this pill that they are waiting for, this pill instead of injection, and for me is it better with the pill because I have this with the pancreas, so my body doesn't digest the pill, so they don't know that or not think about that, but the pill can happen that it's going through my body without melting down and take up of the body, and I know that it can happen, so I know that I have to be careful. I still can catch a very bad illness, but it's for the outside that they don't know. I have the paper that I have got the pill, and they don't know that my biggest problem is that I don't digest food, so I maybe don't digest the pill, but I get that paper so I can come into Israel, or else God will make it in another way, and when I think about that God can make another way, I, you have heard me talking about when I come to United States in December 20, in December 2000, that I was not allowed to come into United States, and God make it. It was maybe 200, 300 people waiting in the custom service at the office place, and they said that to me that I was not allowed to come into United States. So I started to cry, and I only say it a little fast here. There is an episode where I'm talking about everything of this. But when I sit and crying very hard, that I have to, they say that they should put me on an airplane back to Sweden. I have to wait for the airplane, and they should kick me out from the United States and on an airplane to Sweden again. And I cry very, very hard. I hold my hands. I hold my head face down in my hands. And I don't know how long I was crying, but when I look up, there were no people there. God had taken them away in something that I don't know. And then it was only a man in the office that took me in, and I have to swear on the Bible that I should go and go to the immigration and sign me in for to be a resident in the United States. And because of that, he wanted me to pay money. And when I didn't have that money because my husband that I ran away from, he had closed my bank accounts. So I say I don't have any money for that. But I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking like that. And that was the first time I talked to God. I say, God, I don't have any money to pay him for to come into United States. But then it was this angel that I know today, this slim woman with long blonde hair. And she was a security guard. And she took me to an ATM machine. And she took out money for me in the ATM machine. I didn't have the money, but she made me get money from my bank card. And so I could pay the fee for to come in. I think it was 1 month I had to pay for to could be in United States. And when he put the Bible in front of me, this man, and he say I should swear on the Bible. He was so used that everyone believe in the Bible and God, and I didn't believe in God in that way. When I come to United States, it was later I come to know God. So I was between to not know God and to come to know him. So I was thinking that I can lay hand on the Bible and then don't do it. Don't go to the immigration. That was I was thinking that I should not do. But then I have this a spirit. They make me to not could breathe. Um, so so but I had only 1 month, and I wanted to stay in the United States. So I started a process in Chicago to could stay, but then I was forced to leave Chicago, so I never come back to the immigration in Chicago. But I started the paperwork there, and then it was this when I fly to Utah, and I had this soil with gold flakes in the soil, and I wanted to take it to Utah to show them in the Mormon church, because that was like I was thinking it is from that book that they say those plates that they had and read about. And I was to the museum in Utah, and I saw it was exactly the same metallic thing in my flakes, like in those plates that they have copy and show it. And I know from God that I should go take with me the soil with the flakes in and give it to the church in Utah. That's why I was flying to Utah. I did a whole flying, and I think it was 15 hours to come to Utah. I flying over Canada, and when I come to Canada and should take the flight into United States, there was a man, and when I was waiting for to take the airplane, I have to fill in a paper, and I read that it was forbidden to bring in soil, dirt from the ground in the United States. And I didn't know what to do, but I didn't fill in. I only fill in a little on the card, and then it come a woman and say, you have to hurry up. Yeah, must go to the airplane, she say. And she took the paper, and she never looked at the paper, and I have not filled in that I had soil with me. And then when I come to this man, he put my suitcases up on the table and should look at inside them, and I was worried because I have that soil inside my suitcase, and if he opened, he should see it. But God did it. I should do the fingerprints, and the man could never do the fingerprints. He cleaned up my fingers over and over again. I have to do your fingerprints. And he was so full of stress. And then when he should take my picture, it didn't work to take my picture either. He say, what's wrong with this computer, he say. And then he had to let me go very fast. He could make make the fingerprints after a long time, and then my picture, and then I got it. But he never come to look at my suitcases. And I didn't know because it was very confusing there. But when I come to Utah and into my room, and I was sure that they have taken away the soil, but it was laying there with the clothes. So God did it, so I could have the soil with me. And God have done many things like that on when I have he wanted me every time I have fly now since 2000 is it when God have told me that I should travel. And when God want me to travel, he make me could reach that goal. And now he is saying to me that I should go to take the flight to Israel. And if he's saying that I should take the flight, then he make it sure that it's happened that I reach Israel. So I'm not worried, and I don't know really what I am going to do in Israel. I hope to be together with this man that helped me and be married to him so I can stay in Israel. But I don't really know the plan when I'm coming to Israel. But if it's in God's will, he tell me what I should do in Israel. I don't know it now. The only what I know is to take the flight to Israel. And that's it. I maybe not meet this man that I'm talking about, but and I have to take the flight anyway. But I am going to keep my apartment if something happens. I maybe have to go homeless in Israel. But I need to have an address in Israel first to come into Israel. Because the last time it was a big man coming and asked me what I should do in Israel and asked me if I had an address. And I had address to a hotel, and he called the hotel and asked if I have ordered a room at the hotel. So that can happen. So I need to have an address in Israel to come into Israel. And then if something happens, then I have to check out how it is to be homeless in Israel. Don't hope for it. Don't pray that I should be homeless in Israel. Pray for success, that this man marry me and I can stay in that way in Israel. Don't pray for negative, because that God knows if you pray about negative things to me. You should always pray for me in a successful way. But that you know that I don't ask anyone to pray for me, because I have my relationship with God. And after this recording, I am going to talk to God about it. If someone pray to the devil now, because I have been saying this, either I can be homeless or I can marry a man. And I'm going to say that to God, that if someone praying to their God that is not my God, that should be deleted. So, and God knows who it is that prayer against me in everything. And one day in the heavenly court, you have to tell them why you did that, and that's not good, because it's the same thing that you go against God's will when you pray to your devil, praying to Jesus as your God, that you have work against God. It is not that you work against me. I can always be okay in everything, but the bad is that you work against God if you pray like that in negative way. So that what I want to tell you, you that follow me. I see that I have some followers, listener, that they disappear after I was talking about abortion, and it doesn't matter for me. God knows everything, and if they don't want to know God in that way and take it like a political way, what I was saying, I was saying, when I am talking, I don't talk political. I'm talking about how God see it, or how heaven see on things that I'm talking about. I don't talk about the worldly things. About abortion was not worldly things. It was the spirit talking. So if you think I was very wrong and still or listen, I don't think they listen, those that be angry at me. So I'm speaking out in the air. That it have nothing with you to do, but for you that is follow me, it means that it's very fragile, and I can't sugarcoat things. I telling what I hear from heaven. I telling the truth, what I hear from heaven. I'm not talking out from myself. Sometimes I do that when I'm not in the spirit, and that is very bad. But you know that I correct myself if I say something wrong. I don't go here proud and try to erase it in some way. I tell you that I had wrong. If I have wrong, I correct myself in that way. So thank you for to listen. It's some spirit here, but it's not coming much more now. I should end up here because I have to go to bed soon. But something is here. And it's someone that is very hurry. She is in a hurry. I don't know why she's hurry. What is it you want to say? Because I need to close the episode, because it's a long episode now and people can't listen. And she holds something in her hand. It's like I don't know what it's called in English, that you sweep the floor, cleaning tool that you clean. She hold it like that, and she's very hurry in her weight. As I see her, I don't see a face. I only see the tool, and she have a dark green dress on, long down to the floor. But I don't really see her more than that. And she is angry, and I wonder why she is angry. She said, "You don't make a time for me to talk." But I say to her that there is more episodes going on. It's will be maybe episode in the morning if something happen in the morning, and other times when you can come and talk. So that's what she's saying. It's that I didn't make time. They start to be the spirits that I have here. They are a little demanding. They try to be dominate on me, but I tell them that I have the control, and you can get your time. She say that she want a full episode to talk about something very important for her and maybe for us also. So I say, okay, I promise you that you get a whole episode. I don't know how long it will be, but you talk as long as you need to talk. So she is okay now. I have to promise them, and then I do it. They know that if I promise something, it will be done, or else I don't promise. That's it. They knew me. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.